Okay, this seems to be working. All right. So this is gonna be a review with about 20 hours played, somewhere between 20 and 25 total. Slash played, not just having the game for 24 hours. So let's talk about every little detail here really quickly. Controls. Let's start with the easy stuff. Controls are nothing unusual, you would think, except for some reason whoever was designing the control scheme for this game decided to make pressing the right stick the main default control for majority of tasks that you do. Whether you grappling something, whether you climbing the ladder, whether you picking up loot, you press the right stick. That's insane. That is insane. Like, who makes a game in a company this size, with a budget this size, and decides that, well, everybody's pressing sticks, we'll make it a default fucking thing. It's insane. Now, having said that, easy enough to change it, right? Not a big deal. I'm assuming. I haven't tried. So this is probably going to sound weird, but I prefer to try and play the games the way they were made. The way they were intended to be experienced. So I'm powering through it, and we'll see how it goes. You kind of forget about it after a while. It's really weird for the first couple hours, and after I think 4 or 5 hours of gameplay, I just forgot about it. Like, you get used to it. Mechanics. There's some interesting stuff in there. So there are 2 mini games, one for hacking into something and one for opening locks. The game for hacking into computer systems is the game of Mastermind. That's all it is. Search it on Google. You basically have a pattern that you have to guess. And then there are the pattern comes in, let's say, 3 or 4 different little thingies. As a default, those are actual patterns. And then you can switch it so they're numbers if you find that easier. That I love. I love the Mastermind game in general, and I think that was a great call. And in fact, what I would like to say is, when you're making a game this big, I think going with one of the old, tried, tested, and true game concepts, like implementing Mastermind into your hacking minigame, is the way to go. Now, the second thing is opening secure locks, which is supposed to be some sort of a funky rhythm game, but it totally doesn't work for me. I hate it. I think it's dumb and stupid. So normally what I would think that should work, I keep looking at the webcam instead of at the TV instead of the webcam. Normally what I would think you would supposed to do is, like, you have a pattern and a flashing light. When the light flashes on, then you press your whatever button, right? But that's not how it works in here. There's like a little circle that expands and then the light flashes, but you have to press your button while this little circle expands, and it's quick, and I'm old, and it sucks. I hate it. I think that's absolutely dumb. Should there be a mini game for opening those? Absolutely. There are many examples in many games where that was done with various degrees of success. However, when I look at how they implemented Mastermind basics into the hacking mechanic, I fail to see why they went completely off into the left field when it comes to opening locks. That mechanic is the only thing that's causing issues for me. I'm just having a hard time getting things done. It takes me many tries, and then it becomes a thing. Then I'm frustrated. Then I finally open this whatever little treasure, move on, but I'm already pissed off because you made me do this retarded thing that is just absolutely silly. Let's see. When you die and respawn at the last checkpoint, everything respawns. Like all the mobs respawn, which is annoying until you infiltrate one of the larger Imperial bases, for example, right? You deep in there, like 3 levels under, you killed 100 NPCs, 100 mobs, and then you die because whatever. You didn't make the jump, and you ended up dying. Now you respawn right deep in the base with all the mobs respawning often or frequently right on top of you, or like you respawn in a small room, you open the door and there's 2,000 stormtroopers outside. I'm exaggerating, but close enough. So that wasn't really thought out. I feel like in a single player game, that is a weird approach. Like, why are you making me do this multiple times? Like, I've been in situations where it took me close to an hour to clear the whole base. Mind you, that's just me because I don't like just sneaking around. I'd like to sneak so I can, get to a point where I can kill somebody. So that's a problem. I think it's gonna be an issue for people. I just landed in Tatooine and it's awesome. It is so fucking cool. Okay, what's the next? Engagement. Does the game keep you engaged? Yes and no. It really does. I feel it's a great game. Look at this. Look at this. Tatooine. Open world Tatooine. Insane. It does until it doesn't. So I'm all into it, 3 hours in or whatever, and then I encounter a little loot box that I have to open with this dumbass mechanic that they have in there, and it takes me 20 minutes to get it right because it's not like a beep beep. It's gonna be like a beep, pause, beep beep, pause, beep, and you get any of them wrong and you start from scratch. That takes me out of immersion instantly because it's a mechanic that's just keeping me from playing the game. It's not something I can figure out. It is like reflex based, and that will work for a lot of people, and perhaps most people. It doesn't work for me. But that's I'm guessing that's probably just me being old, like I'm just having problems with that kind of stuff. Now, I encountered maybe 2 situations where just the narrative itself completely took me out of being engaged in a game. Characters are great majority of times. There are some that I think are silly, some that could be a lot better. Let's see. Kayves. This is the main character. I would describe her as forgettable. As this is somebody was tasked with making a character that doesn't insult anyone. That's what this is. It's fine. but you know, she's never too funny, she's never too edgy, she's never anything. Like, it's just blah. Like, if you're trying to make something for everyone, you end up making it for no one. And that's how I feel about that. Not a huge deal.
Griff, it's hot, Nix.
Not a big deal at all, really. Like, I make it worse than it is. I'm gonna go on a dark background so you can see me better, maybe. Because for some reason, I put on transparency on the webcam and now, whatever. Looks weird. What I would say, there are characters, and I would say factions, that I personally don't really jive with. So let's say another character that I think could definitely use work is Danka. I think that's Danka. The initial person that gives you quests on the first planet, or tasks, whatever. It's just that the look, to me, absolutely does not match the dialogue or the concept for that character. It feels so out of place. And there's factions, like I think Crimson Dawn is a dumbass faction and should never been done the way it is. It's basically a faction of pretty people in trendy clothes, but they're also gangsters and like intergalactic assassins, and they're all pretty. You know, like it's just fucking, it's just so weird. I don't like that. But then again, a lot of people might not mind it. Like, I didn't like them in Solo, which is one of my, after Rogue One, probably my favorite Star Wars movie at this point. And I don't like them here. Not that I don't like them. I don't like the way they're shown. You know? Like, if somebody goes through this big spiel on how they're like assassins, they killed all these people, they robbed all this, they went through that and this and all these hardships, and they're like the best at, you know, killing people. And I'm looking at this person and they're dressed in a cape, like all pretty, all dolled up, and not a single scar, nothing, like they have a little tiny tattoo on their hand. And it's like, what? How? That just seems so strange. What else? There was one specific instance where I thought that took me instantly out of immersion. Where on the first planet, there was like a meeting. There was Kves, Danka, and somebody else. There was like 3 people and a couple people around in the background. And it's like, these are the biggest villains, murderers, assassins, smugglers, and everyone is female, which is fine. But some variety, diversity would have been great in there. It just felt weird. Having said that, you would think that that's exactly how a lot of people felt up until recently, when diversity started making its way into entertainment, and before that everybody was like a white guy. So that's probably the same kind of feeling. But it's not the issue.
Got some items that have arrived for you, Kay.
Sure.
This fucking guy keeps telling me this. I don't know where these items are. I don't know how to find them. I went through this freaking ship 3 times already. Whatever. I feel like Star Wars specifically is about diversity, right? You have all these races, all these planets. Everybody's different. Everybody's an individual, and it's awesome. And then, depending on who's making the game, you arrive at a situation from time to time where it's like everybody's the same sex, and it's just, it feels like Star Wars taken out of context or something. It just feels out of place. I feel like there is room there for some, some diversity.
Some items are waiting for you, Kay.
Okay.
Yeah. Part of it might be because I didn't, like, the K-Vess is kind of a meh character for me, and I didn't enjoy Danka as a character either, so maybe that's why, because they made up, like, 2/3 of that meeting. Maybe that's why that whole situation took me out of immersion. But I do feel like there is some space there for improvement. I'm sorry. Was it a big deal? At the time, it felt absolutely weird. But then you just forget it 2 minutes later. So keep in mind, when I talk about things I don't like, they're pretty minor. Like, I'm gonna dig into some of that stuff, but it's not, like, nothing that I'm gonna tell you is game-breaking in my personal opinion. There are some things that make me feel uncomfortable, like the way the default controls are assigned. There are some things that are going to take me out of immersion, like, situations where, you find yourself in the middle of some sort of narrative thing that's composed of, all characters of the same gender or whatever.
Understood.
So we'll see. Maybe this gets better. Maybe some of these characters turn up to be different than what they are on the surface. Let's keep on going here. Engagement. Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about. Story. Story is well integrated into the gameplay. It's really good. It really is good. There are some of my... No, I'm not gonna know her name. There is a Twi'lek you meet on the first... Twi'lek? I don't know how you... on the first planet. That is just a great character that I hope I'm gonna be able to see more of. Jalen Vrax is an interesting character, although I haven't seen much of him. Nyx is great. NB5, which is the BX commando droid that joins you, is, I think, great. Who else is good? I didn't meet the Huts yet. There's a bunch of stuff I didn't do. However, actually, we're in a game, so might as well. Reputation. Pike Syndicate was good. Crimson Dawn I do not like. Like, look at this. How? Like, this is like the most ruthless assassin in this solar system? What? Nice cape. What the fuck? Well, this dude everybody knows. I'm hoping to meet him at some point. I'm trying to play this game with putting priority on Hut Cartel and gaining their reputation. At least to start with. We'll see where that goes. And this is a reward available. Huh. And this is a new, to me, a new faction, which I really like. I haven't read into it, so I'm assuming they just made this faction up. I don't recall ever encountering them in any of the movies or anything. Yeah, clan. I think so. And I think they did a fantastic job. Fantastic job. Like the dynamic between the queen and her daughter, and how the daughter ends up... That's a spoiler. There's a really interesting story arc there. And I think that's really, really well done. And I think like that is an example of building female characters that are appealing, that have purpose, that belong in this setting. There's way more than that, but I feel like that's a great example right there, because I think they just made that whole faction app, right? I think, pretty much. Tell me in comments if you know whether that's true or not. But everything there to me works well. Like to me, they're the polar opposite of Crimson Dawn, which is just silly. To me, Crimson Dawn is a faction that will be created by somebody who's not familiar with, creating darker characters, and that's what they come up with. It is silly. Doesn't matter though. What else? Graphics in the game, really well done. Fantastic. Look at this. Tatooine. Open world Tatooine. You can go anywhere in here. Right? You can go anywhere. You see people going back and forth between camps and stuff. I think it's perfect. What I think to me looks a little off is, like, for example, K-Vess. Look at her. She's a little, like, the face. How should I put this? To me, it feels like I'm looking at a character that has lower res skins that are then upscaled to whatever, 4K 1080p or whatever it is. But it's not all characters, only some. Now that I forgot the name of my favorite character so far, the Twi'lek from the First Planet, it's gonna bug me. Because I can't look at the sun. Like, it's all so pretty. So very well done. Just like you would expect from Massive. Sun is going down over Tatooine. Other than that, to me personally, mind you, I'm old and I played a lot of games in my life. To me personally, the highlight of this game, graphics-wise, because, like, I expected it to look great, and that's what I got. But I did not expect the UI to be as good as it is. I feel like the UI is fantastic. Whoever made this is a goat. Like, the perfect font, perfect spacing, perfect everything. Everything is awesome. There are minor things that caught me off guard that are probably more my fault. There's a store? Oh. Well, that's interesting. We'll get to that. I just discovered that. I didn't realize there was a store. So yeah, everything is nice and sharp. Look at that bike. It's insane. And then you can switch the different parts out and all that. Your pet is great. No complaints about anything. There's plenty of customization options. So, like, this is your character. You have clothes, you have charms, and then you can put stuff on next to. I only have a couple things, available, but they all look good. Very well done, all of them. There's really nothing I can complain about in any of this. UI, for me, definite highlight. Too many games these days have a UI that's just boring and uninspired. This is a proper Star Wars game UI. You look at this UI and you know it's from Star Wars or for a Star Wars project. Okay. Music. Great. Exactly what a music in an open world Star Wars game should be. This is like music that I would expect from the movies and stuff. Right? You've been hearing it all throughout this little session. And if you don't even notice it, as far as I'm concerned, that is perfect. That's good music right there. It supports everything. It's exactly what it should be. Ambient sounds. Okay. Good. There are some situations where I thought there could be a little more ambient sounds, especially in areas where I was on a previous planet that had, trees, water, animals, and stuff like that. But yeah, music, no problem whatsoever. A replay value. Well, you noticed already that there's a bunch of different factions. There are also a number of different ways you can customize your character. So, as a player, you get to choose, like for example, which missions you run and how you react to your different factions, which can, in theory, result in replay value. I don't know how this is going to work out. I'm only 20 or so hours in, 20 plus hours in. But I would think, like, I'm going to play this entire game, focusing on Hot Cartel. And if this game keeps getting better and better as I go along, as it has so far, because it really has, I might, be inclined to replay, to some degree at least, as wrong button, as a character that focuses on, let's say, Crimson Dawn. The reason why I'm saying this is because all these factions, look at this, you have reputation, right? There are rewards and they're all different. I don't understand why huts would have stuff that's sprayed with fluorescent paint. I don't get it. I don't know why that's the pattern that would go with the Hut Cartel. It makes no sense to me at all. But they all have different stuff. Like this makes more sense to me. It's like a clothes that fits the theme and stuff. Crimson Dawn, no, gold and black. So that's not bad at all. But like look at this. Like all their stuff looks like it's something that you would see on a runway. I don't know. Post-game content. So this is what I'm wondering about. I am gonna put a lot of time into this game. Oh my god. Anyone who watched the original 3 will get chills right here. What I'm wondering is if I'm gonna have the same problem with Star Wars Outlaws like I had with Cyberpunk 2077, where what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do all the side missions for everything everywhere. Then I'm gonna finish all the main storyline stuff. Then I'm gonna do, all the random encounters. Then I'm gonna find all the secrets and so on and so forth, all the collectibles. When I'm done with everything, is this game gonna continue issuing like randomly generated jobs for me? I hope so. That's what I'm hoping for. If I get to a point where I did everything and it's done, that'll be disappointing to me. That'll be very disappointing to me. I want to have a reason to keep playing this game, and I want to have a reason to stay in this game. I don't know whether that's a thing that happens. If somebody watching this knows, let me know. But I hope that reputation of the bank abilities. Where do you go? Like, I hope they'll keep putting out, Intel. Well, Intel will probably be something that you can finish, right? Um, but contracts, that's what I meant. I would hope that even after you finish all the quests and all the content, if you will, that the game continues to feed you contracts, just randomly generated contracts. Go there, steal that, go there, kill that, and whatever, deliver this to there. If that's the case, I'll have hundreds of hours in this game. If that doesn't happen, then it's gonna be the same thing like I had with Cyberpunk, where I did everything everywhere. Finished the game 3 different times with 3 different characters in 3 different ways. And that's about it. I didn't even make it to the DLC. I I bought the DLC on Xbox, and then I made so fucking pretty. Look at this. And then I made the decision to switch to PlayStation. Another video, perhaps. Technical issues. Very few. Very few. This game, in this state, and mind you, I'm not playing the retail client. This is a pre-release client that I'm playing. I got stuck once. However, asterisk, I got stuck because I was testing things. So, like, if I see, if I see a corner where stuff meets at a weird angle and so on, I'm gonna try to jump in there, see what happens. So I'm trying to find problems, and I found one in 20 plus hours of gameplay. And that one point where I got stuck was like out in the middle of nowhere, on the side of a mountain, where you can jump down to this little angled section and get stuck. So it's like, yeah, whatever. Stuff like that doesn't faze me at all. It's not important, I would say. And I had one crash. One time the game crashed completely, closed, and I had to restart it on PS5. I don't know, however, how much me streaming while playing in a highly populated, densely populated area, how much that had to do with it. I'm assuming consoles have limited headroom for, spikes in resource demands. So if I'm streaming and then I encounter a situation where I'm in an area that has a lot of moving NPCs and all that stuff, yeah, I could see that happen. But I don't have a computer, I just have a PS5, so I'm stuck doing that. That might probably happen in the future again, since I'll be streaming pretty much every hour of me playing this game, to be honest. That's why you see this review in this format. I don't make videos, I just stream. I always did. Monetization. So up until about 5 minutes ago, I was under the impression that all you're gonna get is DLCs. At least I hope there's gonna be DLCs. I'm gonna be getting them if there are. So, expansions, DLCs, additional planets, additional factions, additional story arcs, all that stuff. However, I just noticed as I was talking about the game here earlier that there on the top right, there's a button for store. And I don't know I think it probably pauses the stream when I do that, but when you try to open it, it just says, this is not available right now. So there is going to be a store, in-game store, available after launch. What's going to be in it? Nobody knows. I can't imagine what they could possibly put in that store that would ruin the experience. I would imagine it's just going to be a whole bunch of cosmetic items and DLCs that will be released in the future or something like that, right? Like, what else can they possibly put in there? Maybe a cooler speeder or something. I don't know. There is an avenue for concern, sort of, not really. Okay, as far as I know, this is a single-player game. I haven't heard anything about them even planning to add co-op or multiplayer aspects to any of this. Having said that, I hope that at some point I'll be able to play Sabacc with other people. I love playing Sabacc. I love it. It's awesome. In this game, it's super well done. Now, the clothes that you have, let me show you. So, like, a lot of these clothes that you get at the very start, whether you buy deluxe edition or whatever, I don't know, states, right, that it has no gameplay effects. However, there are items, like, look at this. This reduces damage taken while sprinting, right? No gameplay effects. So there are items, greatly reduces fall damage, chance to find extra credits, increases health, and gain a surge of adrenaline when losing significant amount of health. There are items that have in-game effects. So if there is going to be a store, obviously is, there's a button right there, it just doesn't work yet. I mean, obviously the stuff in the store is going to have some beneficial, stats on it, or effects, I'm sure. However, it's a single-player game, who cares? Overall experience, oh man, I'm really enjoying this game. Like, how can anyone who is who enjoys Star Wars land on Tatooine looking this gorgeous and not have to like pause for a minute? Like, that's awesome. The only oh my god, the only thing that would really bring it up a couple notches is if this was multiplayer. Like, if they made this the same way they made Division 2, that would have been amazing. Amazing. That would have been crazy. But then you can't have the carefully orchestrated story where everybody's playing the same character and everything is planned out. Unless, I don't know, whatever. I would say overall experience, good plus. As far as what rating I would put on this game, so 20 hours, PS5, pre-launch client, great graphics, almost no technical issues. And by almost no technical issues, I mean I found two that I was looking to find. I will, out of 10, 8.5. I'm gonna give it 8.5. There are games that have like solid core, but they're not great. But they can be great if the company puts work into it. This is above that. Like, this is already really good, and with some additional work, it could be outstanding. 8.5 would be my score for this after 20 hours. And here is an interesting thing, because this is kind of important, I think, when it comes to reviews, because I expect to see a lot of reviews with lower scores than what I would expect, because this game, like, you have to put in a couple hours into it to see how good it gets, right? Like, at 2 hours in, I would have given it a 5. At 6 hours in, I would have been giving it a 7. At 20 hours in, I'm at like 8.5. Like, it's starting to be amazing. Like, when I land on Tatooine and it's amazing, everything looks fucking fantastic. And it could potentially keep getting better, because this game really grows on you. Like, partially because you don't start with all abilities, you have to unlock them. You don't start knowing all the quest givers, you have to find them. You have, like, even these dudes, where are they? Reputation journal? No. Your criminal network. Like, these guys were not even on my screen until not too long ago. So as you discover additional content, you get a better feel for what the game is, I guess. It takes a little while to do that, though. You know, it took me like it was like 10 hours before I flew a ship. But largely because I spent a lot of times looking at small details, trying to find places where I can glitch something and all that stuff. But either way, like, if somebody buys this game, plays it for 2 hours, I don't think they're gonna be, super impressed. Like, you need to invest just a little bit of time into it. I would say that for me, somewhere between 3 and 4 hours in, I started getting a little glimpse of how much stuff there is, how much content, and how much variety there is. Because initially, when you start the game, you don't make a character. You play K. I'm picking up my notes. Your sidekick is what it is. Your speeder is that right there, and that's all you get. However, all these things have a slew of customization options, including looks, including, sort of functional upgrades. So I feel like you can make it your own. But it takes a little bit to get to that conclusion, because the game doesn't show you everything when you start. You have to put in the work to see the stuff. And even now, look at this. I'm 20 hours in. I have 2 vehicles, right? There's a lot more empty space in there. Like, you can fit 3 more entries there without even having to scroll. So I know there's a lot more. I'm hoping there's going to be a lot more there to see. Equipment. I have a couple skins, but I've already seen people with screens where they have so many they have to scroll down. So there's a lot of variety in there. Look at these guys, experts. That's what I was looking for. They're under abilities. That's why it's so fucking confusing. It makes sense because of the way the game is made. I think making that menu option abilities, it was the wrong choice. That should say experts. Then you go into experts and you discover that they give you abilities. But this is what the window is. It's the list of your experts. It's not the list of your abilities. That's how I feel about it. Anyway. Look at this. I only interacted with 2, right? These the ones that have picture that is fully shown. But I haven't maxed either one of them. And then I heard of these two other dudes, or sorry, they're not dudes. These two other people, but I haven't even seen them, haven't interacted with them. And then there is 3, 4, 5 more that I haven't even heard of, but that they exist. I have a ton of quests that I haven't done. I did a lot of stuff. It's just there's a lot. There's a lot of content. That's a great thing to say, though. That's a big plus. The more content, the better. I can choose to do it or not do it, but I want it to be there. I'm gonna do it. Yeah. Reputation. Well, like I said, I just discovered a whole new faction. These dudes. So, oh, what's this? You can claim this reward at your delivery crate on the Trailblazer. There's a delivery crate, okay. News to me. Anyway. So, like, look at... I haven't even been to... Like, I haven't seen 2/3 of the game. I haven't seen it. I haven't even experienced it in any way. And, 20 plus hours. So, based on the fact that it looks like I'm experienced about a quarter of content, maybe a third, no, probably a quarter, and I'm 20 plus hours in, my guess this game is gonna be 80 plus hours to complete without 100%ing it. And probably, 180 hours if you really want to finish everything, every side quest, every little mission that you can find. Hold on, can I see stuff? No, I didn't see. I just landed. I can't even see anything. But there are like points of interests, intel, camps. This planet is going to be so fucking amazing. And you can, of course, I can just get into my ship and go. Like, it's not that linear. You get to choose where you want to go. And then you go into space, and you can see in space, like, icons everywhere. Like, when you fly, there are also things you can encounter and participate in. It's like 2 games in one, almost. Have I talked about space travel? I don't think I did. Man, it's amazing. I feel like it's the best. Better than Starfield by a mile. You can't build your own ship, but the actual combat in space and how you can encounter missions and stuff. Best in class, I would say. It's not a game that attempts to be a realistic flight simulator. No, absolutely not. It's more arcadey. Let's just do this. Hold on. Look how awesome everything looks. Like, it's insane. It's great.
Hello, Kay.
Hey, ND5.
Yep. He's pretty awesome. Take off. Oops. Wrong button again. And take off.
Okay, time to go.
Acknowledged.
I like how they solved the dilemma or the challenge of taking off the planet and going all the way to space and landing from space on the planet. I feel like it's a nice, straightforward, simple solution to a very complex problem, and I like this. And we're in space. Look, there's something right there. space combat felt great. There are ships everywhere. I haven't tried attacking anybody. Like, they all belong to one or the other. Faction. Let's just land. So that's good. There you go. I mean, I enjoyed the game immensely. I think I'm gonna be spending hundreds of hours into it. And that's about it. I'm gonna be playing this until what? Towards the end of the year, there are 2 games that I think are worth buying that I'm planning to play, which is Space Marine 2 and, well, I can only get one of them, or New World. So I'm hoping I'll build up our clan by then. We're currently just playing Diablo 4. And I would love to play New World. So I'll probably be playing this till like November, or whenever those games come out. September, October? I don't know. September is just around the corner, I just realized. Isn't that awesome? That's great. Like, what more do you need? I can talk to him, but I won't.
See ya, ND5.
All right then.
Where's that delivery crate? There are some things in the game that I encounter from time to time that I just find weird. Like, earlier today I was playing and he kept telling me that I need to speak to, what's his face? Jalen, I think it was, through hologram. And I'm like walking all over the ship and I'm thinking, oh, it must be this table, right? Like, it's the terminal. And I can't figure out why it doesn't work. There was a small, tiny hologram pack. This one right here. Do you see it? Right there on that box? That was it. Like, what? Just so fucking weird. Like, if you're gonna make, what is it, DB5? ND5. Insist on me using it, shouldn't that be a little bit more, I don't know,
Gonna head out.
Very well.
easier to find, I guess?
There are some items waiting
More
for you.
pronounced, and he keeps telling you all these fucking items, and I don't know where they are. Like, what's this? Oh, shit. Okay. That must be it. So there you go. Now you're seeing what the... I was panning around to see whether the fonts on the alerts that popped up have a little black outline, so they're visible against white background, and they do. I just appreciate the attention to detail. So, you know, in conclusion, like, this is a great game that's gonna be awesome. If you like or enjoy Star Wars franchise,
Should be able to find the sheriff.
this is amazing.
Cut a deal.
If you like sci-fi, you're still gonna like this a lot. If you like, you know, role-playing games, RPGs, you're gonna like this. They're casting a wide net. I wish they wouldn't do the same with the design of some of the characters. But yeah, great game. 8.5. You're gonna see me play this game because when I play I stream, and you're gonna see me play this every day pretty much. You know, for the next couple months, I would think. Unless the guild gets really big, and then I'll just spend time playing New World or something. Wow. The combination of the music with the view, it just really works for me. But then again, there are also moments where I'm like looking at my screen thinking, what? How? Why? What for? That are just awkward moments. And that's about it. I wish there was more diversity in the game, character-wise, characters that you interact with. Um, they don't all have to be human just because you talk to them and they're like, with you all the time. It would be nice if there was at least a 70-30 mix of female to male characters within that group of core characters in the game. Some variety, because like the game, I only been playing for 20 hours, which it's not really much for a game of this size, and I'm already getting into situations where some meetings between multiple characters all at once feel goddamn awkward, because it's just like you're looking at your screen thinking that situation would never fucking happen. Like, this is just weird. But yeah, I mean, there is a flip side of the coin. So I'm looking at this and I'm I don't know, judging it, I guess, through my eyes, based on who I am with my life experiences and all that stuff, right? Now, there is gonna be a lot of people that are gonna find the situations that I found confusing, very cool or rewarding or interesting. And that's great. That's great. I'm not delusional enough to think that every game has to be made for me. In fact, I hope those days are over. Everybody should be able to find a piece of entertainment that speaks to them. And it doesn't have to speak to everybody. Like, I don't have to identify with the main character necessarily to find the story appealing. There you go. So I'm working on it. I don't know. What else? There's a really good African American lady, one of the main characters. She's Jalen's assassin or something. Oh, she's just well done. Background is there to make you feel like that character fits where the character is placed. Dialogues are great, looks are awesome. Like, that's how I like characters done. It's characters with substance is what I enjoy, and their whatever gender on any of the other stuff doesn't matter at all. If it's a well-written, well put together, well thought out character with substance, everybody would love that. I mean, not everybody. There's always somebody who resists the change, because it is a change, and people by their nature resist it. Unfortunately, I think it would be so much further along if that wasn't true. Embrace the change instead of resisting it.
Come on,
hold up.
faster way.
Yeah, this is the weirdest fucking review any of you probably have ever seen. I just need to do this. I need to do this. I want to see, like, when you kill one of these, what they drop. But I can't bring myself to kill them. You have a boost on your bike and everything. There's a lot of options. I didn't speak about any of them. The game is awesome. You should buy it. The people behind this game are awesome. They made the Division games, which are some of the best games ever made, as far as I'm concerned. Division 2? My God. My time in Division 2 is counted by days or weeks, not hours. To give you an idea of what's happening there. I want to keep on talking, but like I'm done. This is it. Now, if anybody has questions or anything, just post everything in comments, and we'll see what happens. I hope the game is not gonna get any backlash or whatever. Have I been talking for an hour? Oh my God! Wow. I hope it's not gonna, get any backlash from people because of like main character being female and most characters that are noteworthy being female, because it doesn't deserve to get the backlash. And I can talk at some other time. This was supposed to be a 10-minute review. I don't know what happened. I hope people buy it and support it, and I hope Massive is gonna support it with additional content releases. Yeah, I really hope it's gonna be successful. Like, I'm a big fan of MMORPGs. This is sort of closer to MMORPG because it's open world and huge and so on and so forth. The only thing that would make this game perfect for me, and 12 out of 10, would be if it was an MMO, or at least a multiplayer game. But that's not gonna happen, I don't think. At least let me play Sabak with other people. Come on. Yeah. That's it. I don't know. I need to get a drink and play. I just landed on Tatooine. It was amazing so far. But this right here, this is Star Wars for me. This or Imperial like bases and stuff. I get like strong Star Wars vibes from all of this. And this looks fantastic. Looks very well done. This is a abandoned camp. I think there's just a couple people in there to talk to, and that's it. That's why it's so dead. There are a lot of encampments, bases, and so on that have tons of NPCs in them. This one doesn't. I need to stop this, or I'm going to be talking for the next 4 hours. And yeah, I hope you check it out. I hope you enjoy it. I know I do. If you want to talk about games, links to my Discord and everything are everywhere. If you want to play some Diablo 4 or New World or Space Marine 2, join the clan, which just means joining the Discord, really. That's it. Yeah, no, I gotta stop this. This is getting silly. Cheers.